This is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Saturday. This is Game Day Live, coming to you live from American Whiskey, 51 Edison Place in beautiful New Jersey, across the street from Prudential Center, next to Championship Plaza. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with Vinnie, Parise of pucksandpitchforks.com, as the New Jersey Devils are taking on the New York Rangers today. Matinee game at the Rock, game 40. Vinny, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing very good, Sam. Wow. It is packed there at American Whiskey. I am shocked. I am excited. I am happy. Devils Rangers. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, it's definitely what it's all about. I mean, I got here about 9 a.m. There were fans that actually started to have beer for breakfast at 9:15 a.m. here in Newark. I mean, it's just an electric atmosphere. You know it's going to be a playoff atmosphere here. It has to be. There's no other way. You got the New Jersey Devils, an up-and-coming team, now finding themselves on the top of the Metropolitan Division, and then the Rangers across the river coming in. This is a must-win game for actually both teams, because they're jockeying for that tiebreaker of that position. And coming in is Shorts Guy. How are you, Shorts Guy?
I'm doing good, Sam. Vinny, how you doing as well?
Doing good, doing good. I love the banner. Fitting for today. I know we got a couple Rangers fans chilling there at American Whiskey, but we got to let them know.
Oh, absolutely. It's the truest statement I know, and it's the one that I've known my entire life.
That's funny. So if you can't tell, I mean, you obviously know this. There's plenty of people there at American Whiskey right now. I'm getting excited for Devils Rangers. Like, they're number 2 and 3 in the Metropolitan Division. If the season ended today, they would meet up in the first round. And here for a regular season game on a Saturday afternoon, it looks like people are ready to rock and roll.
Oh, absolutely. And which is great. It's that atmosphere that we've wanted. And, man, a Devil Ranger playoff series would be wild right now. But this is really like a 4-point game. It's not a 2-point game. It's one of those things where it could be a huge within the standings for the Metro Division for whoever can win this game. And we're hoping it's the Devils that win this and not the Rangers.
Yeah, the Devils have been getting kind of, I don't want to say lucky, but the last couple of games, the New York Islanders have lost, the Washington Capitals lost a close one late to the Nashville Predators yesterday. The winner of today's game is going to be in second place in the Metropolitan Division, trying to catch up to the Carolina Hurricanes, and the loser could be in as low as 5th by the end of the weekend, but still in a playoff spot, obviously, but it's tight right now in the Metropolitan Division.
Yeah, and that's why all these games are critical, and the Devils got to start figuring out, how to win at home. And if there's a better game to do that than today, it's I don't know what is. So let's start getting that winning way at home against the Rangers and just build off of that going forward.
I mean, it would be a heck of a time to break that losing streak at home. I can't even explain it. On the road, the Devils are 14-2-1, and
yeah.
I don't know if it's I don't want to blame you, Vinny, but the last time the Devils won a home game, the next day you come to New Jersey on that December 9th game, and they haven't won since. Why is that, Vinny?
I honestly, it's funny, isn't it? Like, they stopped winning at home from that point on. And the last game was against Chicago, where I come from, and they won. And then I show up to town, and they've lost 7 straight since. I mean, that first game that they lost, I was at, and it was the game where Jack Hughes finished the game with a 6-minute shift and whatever. Like, it was one of the best Devils games of the season. It's one of the most memorable losses I can ever recall for the Devils. I'll never forget that game. And wow, they got to get one, because I'm tired of hearing about how it's my fault.
Hey guys, I just want to give a shout out to the bartenders at American Whiskey. We got Peyton behind the bar. Alejandra's behind the bar, and she's shy. She's camera shy. She's back there. Aaron, I see Dennis, I see Ariel, all back there anyway. I just want to give a shout out. Remember to tip your bartenders as well here at American Whiskey, 51 Edison Place. So, guys, big game. We know what's at stake, but I think really what I'm looking for is that emotion from the New Jersey Devils. I'm looking for them to have that extra oomph. They're kind of a team where they're run and gun, fun and gun, or whatever you want to call it. But we talk about the beefalitics, but this is the type of game where I want to see Nico Hischier not only do well, but be nasty out there. Jack Hughes, he's not known for that. He's more of a Lady Bing type nasty out there. But the one guy I want to see that bring it all together with the team, because it's got to be a team effort, is Andre Palat. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. Andre Palat is, we've talked about it many times. I mean, it can't be overstated what he's done in the league. And, bringing that to a young team like the Devils, who were really hot early on in the season, it was kind of obvious that at some point this year they were going to, look like a young team again. They might go through a little bit of a tough stretch. I wouldn't say are they in a tough stretch right now, or are they just in a stretch where they're like a little bit inconsistent and need to figure out a way to start stringing together some wins again?
I don't think they're
not.
Boston series. I don't think they haven't played bad. I think it's just a little bit of bad luck, terrible refs, all that kind of stuff. But they have to figure a way how to get past that. I mean, they should have beaten the St. Louis Blues. I didn't think that they played that bad against the Boston Bruins. I didn't think they played bad there. They played well against Pittsburgh. They played well against Carolina. So you know what? It's a process. It's a building process. They were coming out of that 6-7 game losing streak. And now it's, you got to establish that home ice, make it a home ice.
And some of those factors that you touch on, like referees getting goalied. I know people have talked about getting goalied. Binnington looked like his old self in that game where he was making some great saves. A guy like Andre Palat helps you overcome those types of situations.
Yeah, it's Andre Palat was a great player on the other night against the Blues. I'm flaking on what night that was, even though I was there. It's good to have him back in the lineup, and it's his leadership can hopefully turn this all around and to get this young Devils team back on their winning ways. He was one of the more consistent players the other night against the Blues. I believe he had most of the hits. They only had 8 hits on the other night against the Blues on Thursday. They have to hit a little bit more. They have to come out strong in this game against the Rangers and really give it to them right away. But I agree with both you and Sam. The Devils haven't been playing terribly. The puck luck hasn't been there for this team. And if you don't get that puck luck, sometimes you're just not going to get the win. And they just have to keep pushing. This young team was going to run into things like this. They have to find a way to get out of it, especially because if we make the playoffs, which we should at this point with all hope, they may find themselves, if you're on a 2-game skid in the playoffs, you got to figure this out real quick to turn that around. This is the perfect opportunity to do that today, and to turn this around, and to find that formula how to win again. But again, they're not playing terribly. They're in every game. On Thursday, they looked really fast, and they were really pushing hard. They outshot the Blues an incredible amount. We just did not get that win. And hopefully today with the rivalry game, we have it, and hopefully we can get the win.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And, they have plenty of other guys besides Andre Palat who have made deep runs in the playoffs, who have played in these types of games in the regular season. Ryan Graves spent time with the New York Rangers and the Colorado Avalanche. Obviously, Eric Holla with Vegas and Carolina going deep, and even the Minnesota Wild, making deep playoff runs with them and playing against some big Western Conference teams like the Blackhawks and the Kings and the Blues and series like that. So, guys like that, they need to come together. And this is a young team. They rely so much on players whose average age is 23, right? If you take Nico Hischier, Jack Hughes, Dawson Mercer, Jesper Bratt, and pick another young forward. Their 5 best players, even if you include Dougie Hamilton, their average age is still they're 23, 24, And that's one of the youngest in the league. I think Andre Palat, Bill Spalding was saying during the game on Thursday, Andre Palat bumped up their average age just a little bit, made them like the third youngest team instead of the youngest team. But like, holy crap, of all the good teams in the league, they are amongst the youngest, if not the youngest. I don't care if like Arizona or the Blackhawks are younger than them. Like, there's a reason they're dead last in the standings. The Devils are finding a way to be one of the top teams with all this young talent. What is this team going to be like when they're 28, 29 years old is the average of the team? When Jack Hughes is 28 and Nico's 30, right? Like stuff like that. This team's going to be really good. They'll have Luke Hughes in the fold by then. This is a process, and this is part of the process.
No, I agree. And I'm going to have to say that we may all have a twinge of the Devils maybe a little bit further ahead than we were expecting for this season. With that long winning streak, that was the furthest thing from any of our minds in October when this season started. This team doing this early in their career, I think is nothing but phenomenal. And I think we have a core, like you said, we're real young now, but when this core grows together in the next couple seasons, it's going to be a deadly team. And we just got to keep that going. And the fact that inserting one player into the lineup increases the age. I don't know what that speaks for as far as how young this team is or how old Andre Palat is relative to the rest of the team. But I think it's phenomenal. This is one of those things where they have to use this as an opportunity to learn. And we just need to push forward. And by the way, before we move on, how wild is it that there's basically a street party out there in front of the Prudential Center in January?
It's awesome.
It is January.
So awesome. I'll pan in outside of American Whiskey. We got a lot of fans out there. I can't even get a good camera angle because there's people just lined up against the window. But yeah. Absolutely crazy out there.
How many January games did we spend in the parking lot of the Meadowlands where it was absolutely freezing? And here it is, January 7th, and everyone's out there just enjoying a good time, having a beer outside. It's wild. I love it. It's Devils hockey is back. It's not been a good stretch recently, but Devils hockey is back, and here's hoping that we can push forward with that win today.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And, the warm-ups are just starting right now. We're going to see, how things are shaking up in terms of their line combinations. And we all assume Vitek Vanacek is going to be in net because they went with Akira Schmid last game against the St. Louis Blues after Vanacek played outstanding against the Detroit Red Wings the night before. Some people were saying I would have started Vitek in that game against the Blues. That might have been the difference, but also, burying a couple of those chances that they had late in the third period would have also helped them beat the St. Louis Blues. I can't really look at a goal that Akira Schmid gave up and was like, wow, that's your fault. Maybe the Brandon Saad goal, but at the same time, if a guy like Brandon Saad is alone in front of the net with a lane to it, he might bury it every now and then, even if you can claim that the goalie was able to see the puck and make the save. Brandon Saad scored a lot of goals in this league, for a couple different teams, couple different good teams. So the guy knows how to score. If he's in alone, he's going to find ways to make goaltenders look bad, and, that happened. So we'll see what happens with Vanacek today, but I'm expecting a good performance.
Yeah, I'm totally in agreement with you. The Saad goal was the only one that I didn't like that Schmid gave up, but, sitting where Sammy and I were sitting on Thursday night, all the Devils defensive players, there were three of them to Saad's left, and he was wide open. It's just it's that 5-hole goal, especially as a goalie, irks me. I know I've let in plenty of them, and I've said that before in this podcast, but it just, for some reason, it just irks me. But that's really the only one that I would even venture a guess to say, yeah, Schmid could have and should have had that. But you're right. We had chances. We didn't bury them. The goalie can't do everything.
Shorts guy, why is that, though? I've had many goaltenders tell me, we don't give up 5-hole goals. You want to beat us blocker? You want to beat us 6-hole? Glove hand? What? Why is it that the 5-hole annoys the heck out of you guys extra?
It's just because you should have it. If you have proper stick placement and you're in a good proper stance, that's the last place you want to get scored upon. It's just one of those things. It's you don't want to let up that 5-hole. It just seems to be the weakest goal that you could potentially give up with so much of what you can do to stop it. it's one of those things. It irks me when I do it. It irks me when I see it happen, especially at the NHL level. It's just one of those things. It's you hate to give them up because you should stop them, because it just feels like it's the weakest point that you should be allowing a goal.
I have always found that to be pretty funny because shooters shoot for that position. There's a reason they go for that type of goal. It's not like something that rarely that you see. I would say at least 10% of a goal scored on any given night is a 5-hole goal. And I've always wondered, like, is it because you feel it's the easiest to stop, or I don't know, because you have the stick, like they literally give you an apparatus to help block that part of your that area of the ice. I don't know.
Essentially, yeah, that's kind of part of it, but also it's the lower part of your center mass. So it's to your left, to your right, up high, down low, whatever. It's it's to the fringes of your body, but that's the lowest point of your center mass. You should be able to get down there and close that up and seal that hole. And sometimes you just can't. And it's also a one-on-one battle of patience sometimes too. It's a matter of who's going to win. If the goalie's going to hold out and beat the shooter, or the shooter's going to hold out and beat the goalie. It's one of those things. It's a one-on-one battle when it comes to a 5-hole goal.
Hey guys, you want to take a look at that shot again? I moved the camera, and it's just full. I wish I could get another the whole street.
That's fantastic.
Edison Place is just full of hockey fans in the middle of January. It's just amazing. And you know what? And I think this rivalry is going to continue, and it's going to be like we talked about in the early days, in the early 90s, and then the 94, and then the late 90s and early 2000s, and then the 2012, and then of course there was a little dip there. But now I really think what the Devils have done with their roster, with their team, the complete overhaul after Lou Lamoriello left, it's going to start paying off dividends. I mean, Jack Hughes is one of the pillars of the league very soon, and then the debates: Capo Caco, Jack Hughes, or Alexei Lafreniere. I mean, both of them lately in the last year have been benched quite a few times.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of it, it's crazy what the Devils have done since Taylor Hall left. Jack Hughes is 5th in the NHL on 5-on-5 points this season. He relies, he gets a lot of points on the power play, make no mistake about it, but like McDavid has like 50 points on the power play, and that's why he has 70 as opposed to 40, and power play is part of hockey. I'm not ripping on McDavid or Draisaitl or any of them for, doing well on that, but Jack Hughes is literally one of the best players in the NHL. The Carolina Hurricanes are deeper, right? They have a better defense. Their forward group is just a line or two deeper than the Devils. In my opinion, they at least have an extra good forward on each line as opposed to the Devils. Like a Jesper Boquist would probably never make their lineup. But, Jack Hughes is better than any player on Carolina. He's better than any player on most teams. You have a guy like that, it builds excitement, it creates intensity, it makes people want to come see him. And hopefully in the future, it makes free agents be like, hey, I can make a couple extra million if I end up playing with Jack Hughes. I could get a couple extra points each season. Let's go play in New Jersey. If worst comes to worst, I'll play with Nico Hischier, that little guy. It doesn't, it's not one of those types of teams that are not attractive anymore. And that's all being built through the draft and development of players. And that's why the excitement is what it is today, in my opinion.
Can I just answer Judy? I was being sarcastic. There is no debate between Capo Caco and Jack Hughes. There's none. I was just being silly over there. Just wanted to get that point because she's confused in the YouTube live. I see Max, Dave Singer. Even Dave Singer says Bratt is better than Capo Caco. I mean, from an individual standpoint. But you know what? The Rangers took a different direction. Remember when they sent the season ticket holders, we're going to rebuild, we're going to do it the right way. And then Tom Wilson comes along. They were actually doing it well on their rebuild, taking one for the team. And then Tom Wilson comes along, and then they just shredded it up, fire a couple people, put Chris Drury in, win now. And that's why the development of Lafreniere and Capo Caco, that's why it is where it is. That's my opinion, of course.
Hey, Sammy, I actually asked Billy Dean on Monday if that was the last time he went for a run when the Rangers got that pick to get Lafreniere, and if he regretted running that day, which we should, for next Monday, we should have that clip ready. Because that was just a waste.
Vinnie doesn't know the backstory, so when the Rangers got the first overall pick, when the league and that ping pong ball
Weighted
and the
ball.
remote, it was all rigged. We all know it was rigged. We have video evidence that was rigged. And the Rangers got the first overall. He literally took off his shirt, and he's a big guy. And I don't know why he would do one of these video selfies of himself celebrating, thinking like it would go viral. And he went half naked.
He ran down the block.
Yeah, half naked. For Alexis Lafreniere.
According to him, it wasn't the last time he went for a run, but I think
I'm not going to rip on him. I would have done the same thing. When the Devils won, when they won the Heischer lottery, I was extremely excited. I jumped up and down a little bit. When they won the Jack Hughes lottery, I ran around my house recording like a video. I try and find it, but I mean, it was. I understand those types of emotions. When I think back to that draft, I'm like, they really might have set it up where the Rangers, but like. If the draft were redone today, would Lafreniere even go in the top 10? I'm not even being a hater. I can think of 5 guys from that draft off the cuff that were bad. I mean, I would rather have Dawson Mercer, right? I mean, I certainly wouldn't rather have Alex Holt or anything like that, but I would rather have Lucas Raymond. I would rather have Tim Stützle. So, there's 3 guys right off the bat without even putting too much thought into it that I would rather have than Lafreniere at this point. Now, he could prove us all wrong if they trade him, they bench him. He goes to a young team like Anaheim, plays with Trevor Zegras or something. Maybe he shows that potential that he showed.
But he was supposed to be a sure thing. I mean, that's what they were telling us. The central schedule, like he was like above everybody, ahead of schedule, NHL ready, the league darling potentially. And Lafreniere has been nothing but a disappointment. Now, he does have some time to change the narrative of it, but you know what? The bottom line is he sucks. First overall pick, and you're thinking Alexander Daig at this point. Maybe not that bad, but
not yet. Yeah, we have some time to get there, but that just shows the crapshoot of what this draft can be. Sometimes the sure thing or the quote sure thing is really never the sure thing. I mean, look what's happening in Seattle right now with I've drawn a blank on his name, but he's getting sent back down to the OH. Shane Wright. He's getting sent back to the OHL after the World Juniors.
He got Connor Bedard to help him out in World Juniors.
Well, yeah. So then, is Connor Bedard going to be the sure shot? We don't know. That's kind of the beauty and the thrill of the draft is. Who's going to wind up, being that guy that you want to get? The one thing that I know about the Devils in the last couple of years, having those 2 first overall picks, is they got both of those picks absolutely correct in Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes. And that's the one thing that the Devils have done well over the last couple of years is stockpiling these draft picks, getting these prospects into this pool and into this team and into this system. And now we're reaping the benefits of it. We're beginning to reap the benefits of it. Having such a deep organization that it's just going to benefit us for years to come.
All right. I want to go. I'm sorry. Sorry, Vinny. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you hit on picks like that, you're going to end up starting to win sooner than later, and we're seeing it with the Devils.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I got the starting lineups or the lines. I don't know which way we should go. Rangers first or Devils?
Go with the
Let's
Rangers
just go Devils.
first.
50-50. Sam, you choose.
Well, I think the only thing we care about, Shesterkin's obviously in that. So,
obviously, yeah.
Yeah, obviously. So we'll just leave it at that.
The Devils, unlike any team in the league, though, have figured him out just a little bit more than everybody else. They score on him, and I'm like, this is one of the best goalies in the world, and the Devils normally let Binnington have a 9,000 save percentage on them, and against Shesterkin for some, and they've beaten Vasilevsky too a couple times.
They
the
have.
2 best goalies in the NHL, in my opinion. It's weird. It's so weird. You're telling me Binnington? That guy stinks.
I'm still upset Binnington didn't lose his mind on Thursday night. I really thought when Wood plowed into him, he would just start throwing haymakers at no one, but that's just
He
me.
thought about
Anyway,
it.
Sam.
He thought about it.
He did.
He
He did.
He gave the look.
That's all I wanted to see. That's all I wanted to see on Thursday.
So this is coming from
All right,
Amanda
Sam,
Stein.
continue.
I'm trying to read her handwriting right now. On the first line, Heischer centering Palat and Bratt. On the second line, Jack Hughes with Eric Holla on the left wing, Tatar on the right wing. Third line, McLeod, Mercer, and Miles Wood. Fourth line, Boquist, Holtz, and Sharon Govich. The defensive pairings, you have number 7, Dougie Hamilton and Jonas Siegenthaler. Ryan Graves, Damon Severson, or Hoytuk. You got the beef in the lineup.
He's in.
Nikita Hoytuk and Brendan Smith. Starting in net, Vitek Vanacek.
Good.
That's
exactly
the
who I
Devils
wanted.
lineup, right? Like that's
exactly
what you want
who
to
I
see
wanted
against
to hear.
the New York Rangers. Yep.
Yes.
You get a Hotuk in there after a couple days off. Ball hasn't looked, amazing in the last couple games, and like you said, the forwards, you know who you're relying on there.
Yeah, and that's exactly who I wanted to hear as the starter for today is Vanacek, because I have more faith in him than Blackwood right now. As much as I want Blackwood to be great, just the way Vanacek has been playing, just he's the guy right now, and I'm so happy to hear that he's starting in net for us.
And I'll tell you what, a lot of people are going to be angry that Alexander Holtz is on the fourth line. That's not your typical fourth line. Boquist and Sharon Govich are both very good players. They're not goons. It's better than playing them with McLeod and Bastian, in my opinion. I love Bastian's games, certainly, but, not necessarily for Alexander Holtz, if that makes sense. But, Holtz was dancing around the last 2 games. I don't know if he's starting to turn a corner or anything like that. Is he going to be, a top 5 pick from that draft? I don't know. But I'll tell you what, the last 2 games, he's looked really, really good. He got a goal and an assist against Detroit. Binnington made a couple nice saves on chances he created for himself or a teammate in the last game. But, man, he easily could have had 5 points over the last 2 games. He was dancing around out there.
Yeah, I'm happy with the lines today, and I just really hope that it sets us up for just a great rivalry day victory.
Yep, I agree. That's what we're always looking for when the Devils play the Rangers.
Looks like people are starting to file into the arena, closing out their tabs at American Whiskey and emptying the streets outside, going inside in anticipation for the beginning of this game. So we're getting to that point, Vinny. We're getting to puck drop.
So I think that's a good segue for our Game Day Live predictions. Brought to you by DaveSinger.app. The Victory Bucks. Since we no longer have a sponsor for this segment, it's Dave Singer all the way.
All right.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. Well, I'll go first. I think the Devils are going to beat the New York Rangers by a final score of 5-3. I think it's going to be a close 4-3 game late. The Rangers are going to be pressing. Artemi Panarin's going to be out there dancing around, and Nico Hischier is going to make a great play to help them get one deposited into the empty net. 5-3 Devils.
Okay. I'm kind of near you on the Devils scoring 5 today, but I'm going to do 5-4. I think it's going to be a close game. Devils victory 5-4.
I like Judy's prediction. She was right that one time. She says, Sam, 3-3 prediction, but who knows about overtime and silly shootout. And I'd like to add in the referees. I'm going to check the referees, who's reffing today. Dave Singer says, agree, Max, 6-4 Devils. Wyatt says 4-2 Devils. Dave Singer says 4-2 Devils. Codex 100 says 4-3 Devils. In overtime, I was going to do a silly prediction of 12-0 Devils, but I'm trying to get back into the prediction race.
Trying to rein it in.
Yeah. So I'm going to say 5-3 Devils. 5-3.
Okay.
And it's Eric Holla getting the empty net goal, and just barely in the end.
0.5 seconds left.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I am starting the Eric Holla fan club. He's been getting hate on. I love Eric Holla. I just need him to put the puck in the net. But he's going to wait for the right time. And I'm going to stick with that statement. It's going to be the same thing as Lindy Ruff. I'm going to double down, triple down, quadruple down with Eric Holla because I still think the Devils made better than the Boston Bruins when they traded Zacco away.
So Sam, I have to ask: Are you going to go all in on Eric Holla like we went all in on Kenny Klee all those years ago?
Let me tell you something about Ken Klee. Okay, no Devils fan liked him. I started the Klee fence. Ken Klee outscored Jaromir Jagr in the 2006 Devils Rangers series 1-0. And Ken Klee is a great American from Indiana. Number 8, Ken Klee, the Klee fence.
It's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
It's probably the dumbest thing you've ever heard. That's why everyone's leaving. They're like, all right, enough. We got to get to the game.
I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
These idiots are over.
Yeah. I want to thank all those tuning in on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live. You can find us on Twitter at Let's Get Olds Pod. And I want to thank American Whiskey for opening up early for beer for breakfast. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Here this morning, setting up, meeting all the fans coming in, and I want to thank all the bartenders. Remember to tip your bartenders here at American Whiskey. And also, after the game, post-game, Devils After Dark, after the game, Scotty of Sirius XM, Liquid Metal, and I will recap the game that was here at American Whiskey, the finest establishment and the official home game bar of the Let's Go Devils podcast. Guys, thank you very much. Thank you, Peyton. Thank you, Alejandra. We got to get Peyton and Alejandra on camera. Devils After
Nice shirt,
Dark.
Peyton.
Yes, nice shirt. You can buy him $20. Just ask me. I'll direct you that way. And if anybody wants some I Hate Sam Wu t-shirts, we are pre-ordering them right now. Let us know. We want to get that batch going. My in-laws have taken second mortgages over with their homes, and they want to buy those t-shirts as well. Enough. But anyway, we'll see you after the game. Devils After Dark. Guys, final words?
Devils Rangers. You hope they get a big win against that nasty, stinky team. Hopefully, we're in the reverse retros for the last time. Let's go, Devils.
My final words are very simple. Rangers suck.
All righty, and that's all for now. See us after the game. Devils After Dark. Till next time, let's go Devils.